Shalom. Shalom to the brethren. And what up to everybody else? This is your op, Brandon Lewis. And this is the Lunar Solar Shabbat Scripture Study, where we search the scriptures, looking for ways to apply them to life that we might become perfect. Too long have we read a scripture here and a scripture there, creating whole doctrine, never knowing the fullness of the context of those scriptures, the fullness and the context of those chapters and those books. And we have ignorantly made them say things that they did not say, made them intend things that they did not intend. May we now read them in the fullness, in the context that they were meant to be read in, and know what they were intended to teach us.
Hallelujah. Abinu, Shaba Shamayim, Itkuda Shamka, Tabwa Malkutka, Yashar Ratsunka, Kaba Shamayim Kan Ba Arat, Atlacham, Akunutan, Lanu Hayum, Usalach Lanu, Al Khataim, Kapisha Sul Khimgam, Anachnu, Lachat Aim Lanu, Ual Dabian, Lidi Nasayun, Ki Amkhalsan Manhara, Ki Laka Hamamlaka, U Hagabura, U Hatap Arat, Launi, Aulamim. Abinu Yahweh, we thank you for this moon, for this opportunity to represent you. And we ask that you send your Ruach HaKodesh to envelop and just cover this entire platform, cover our mouths, our hearts, our minds, and everything in this dealing that is to represent you, so that we speak only your words, so that we represent you in the fullest of Abinu Yahweh. We thank you. We ask for your protection and your covering as we go throughout these days and these trials, as we fight off these spirits that try to attach themselves to us, and as we build up our community and our nation in you, Abinu Yahweh. Through you, all things are made new. Through you, all things are possible. And we thank you for your word, for your truth, for your understanding, your binah, and for your wisdom, your chakmah, that we may apply these things to our lives and we may walk closer with you. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. We tahila you, we remember you always and forever. Ulam, hallelujah.
Jeremiah 44:10. They have not humbled themselves even unto this day, nor have they feared, nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes that I set before you and before your fathers. Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will set my face against you for evil, and to cut off all Judah. St. John chapter 13 and verse 20. Verily, verily I say unto you, he that receiveth whomsoever I send receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me.
Dealing with my issues, same thing running through my head every day, the same old issues. Know that they won't listen. Every time I open my mouth, they say he's crazy and dismiss it. Help me, Father, I'm struggling. Lord, send me a messenger that'll help me out with my problem. Said I'm all alone with my issues now. Anybody know what I'm talking about? My issues, my issues, oh my issues, oh my issues, my issues, my issues, my issues, my issues.
It ain't easy when you first first wake up and everybody else still sleep. The same ones you was raised up with misunderstand you when they sleep. When that phone no longer ring, nobody knocking at that door. And it get back to you, he done lost his mind. What's wrong with him? I don't know. He just came up over my house. He was disrespectful and rude. Said my furniture was idolatry. You wouldn't take a plate of my food. Everything was about that Bible. He was difficult to speak to, telling us we ain't no Africans. He thinking we the Hebrews. In the same way they did Noah, warned them all the way that flood came. Then he latched up that door. Same way we warning you about this thing the Father gon' do. He ain't even asking no questions. 1 minute cool, when the next minute boom. And I'm digging deep in myself every day, just trying to become worthy. Looking around at all of my family, your friends thinking it's a game and it hurt me. They look at all of my diligence and chalk it up as being militant. Like every time you come around, you talking all of this silliness. But I love them all, hit my knees for them all, praying mercy under their ignorance. Even though I know what the scriptures say, and I know why you ain't hearing it. OT 4 and 6, second address 8, 1 through 2. Yeah, he made this world for many, but the next one only for a few. 500 million people on earth, and he only saving thousands, cause you putting everything before him. You wake up and go to sleep clowning, slide down a slippery slope, constantly taking turns for the worst, thinking everything a coincidence and can't see y'all people been cursed. Now pay attention.
Dealing with my issues, same thing running through my head every day, the same old issues. Knowing that they won't listen. Every time I open my mouth, they say he's crazy and dismiss it. Help me, Father, I'm struggling. Lord, send me a messenger that'll help me out with my problem. Said I'm all alone with my issues now. Anybody know what I'm talking about? My issues. Oh my. 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 My issues. Oh my.
Hey man, it's about time for y'all to hit that like and that subscribe button. You've been around here soaking up all the game like a dry sponge in a wet puddle. You've been robbing your brother of his likes and his subscription. You don't want to comment, you don't want to hit the share button. You're selfish. You don't want to participate, then you need to evacuate. Get on up out of here quick, fast, and in a hurry, because we don't need your kind. Now, for those of you that's gonna do what's right, go ahead and get it then. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, comment, and sit back and relax. Let's get into these scripts. You dig?
All right. Shalom to the brethren. What up to everybody else? This is Yahk Brandon Lewis, and this is the Lunar Solar Shabbat Scripture Study. Today we're going to be talking about looking into the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and 10, for the judgments and compassion of quote-unquote God upon his people. So this came about. Hold on one second. Okay. This came about from reading something out of Acts. I believe it was Acts chapter 9. Let me see, can I pull it up real quick? Come down, son. I was reading in Acts 9. Just to give you some little insight into what was going on, how we got here. It took me to Acts 9 about Saul. When I don't know, what was I reading? Because it said here about Saul about let me share a screen real quick with y'all. All right, whatever I had is gone. There you go. All right. I was reading up in Acts 9 where it talks about Saul, when it says, meanwhile, Saul still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the master went to the high priest and asked him for letters to the synagogues at Damascus, so that if he found any who belonged to the way, men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. And he asked for letters to synagogues at Damascus, so that if he found any who belonged to the way, this is what got me, the way. And I wanted to find out what this meant. So I went on this journey or whatever, and it showed me all the places in which this word, the way, was used at. And somehow it brought me over to Matthew. It brought me over to Matthew. Now I don't even know what part of Matthew I was in. Tag on it. I think it was Matthew 9. No, it wasn't Matthew 9. Hold on. Oh, no. Matthew 4. It took me to Matthew 4. We rolling. I'm joined today by my Ben, Nathan Yahuda, and my wife, Maisha Uriah, Yasharal Yahoo. She's over there in the cut. And we're going to get started as soon as I can finish giving you this preface here. I was in Matthew chapter 4 when it was talking about Yahusha, and it got on up to, we're talking about Galilee and the way. Somehow it got to here. It got to Matthew chapter 4,
verse 12. Because now when Yahusha heard, or Yahusha heard that John had been arrested, he withdrew to Galilee. Right? He left Nazareth and made his home in Capernaum by the sea, in the territory of Zebulun and Naphtali. So, you know, when you think about Capernaum, you would think of another nation. I would, you know what I'm saying? You would think of the Greeks or the Romans or something, because it's Capernaum. Capernaum, that's not Hebrew, that's Italian, that's Greek, that's Roman, right? It said he left Nazareth and made his home in Capernaum by the sea, in the territory of Zebulun and Naphtali. As we know, the 12 tribes was made into a kingdom, and that kingdom was split up into two kingdoms, northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Northern kingdom got sent into captivity and eradicated as a kingdom because they lost their king, their kingship. They lost their land. And they lost their land and kingship and all that to the Assyrians. So some believe that the whole northern kingdom got shipped out of the land and got sent to, some people say parts of Africa, some people say North America. They have a whole lot of things about where these people went to. But they had towns. And Joshua, it tells you how Joshua went and fought all of the Canaanites and the Philistines and all this, fought these people and took their land and divided their land up amongst the children of Israel, quote unquote, right? Two of those tribes is Zebulun and Naphtali. They had their own land, their own cities. So here we have, quote unquote, Jesus going to these places that was allotted to Northern Kingdom. Two of those places, the territory of Zebulun and Naphtali. Now, most Christians wouldn't even know what to do with that. They just read right on over there. You went to the territory of Zebulun and Naphtali. And I'm going to tell you about Northern Kingdom, about the other tribes and all that. And all of this is very significant when we get into Isaiah, which is where I started to go on this rabbit hole, right? It says, so that what had been spoken through the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled. It's saying Jesus went to this area to fulfill a prophecy. Like he said, he is the fulfillment of Scripture. His life is the fulfillment of Scripture. What did he fulfill? He fulfilled something that Isaiah said. What did Isaiah say? Isaiah said, the land of Zebulun, the land of Naphtali, on the road by the sea, across the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles, the people who sat in darkness have seen a great light. And for those who sat in the region and shadows of death, light has dawned. So Isaiah is speaking of, first Isaiah spoke of the captivity that was going to come upon Northern Kingdom, right? Then he spoke about how salvation was going to come to these people. And this is the part, right? And this is what Yahushua did. This is what that light was. The salvation to the captives. What were they captives to? Now, he didn't set them free physically from under the Romans and the Greeks and all that. He didn't. But what he set them free from was to sin and from burdens. A lot of them had been burdened by, similar to this day, by the law and by leaders of the people that proclaimed to follow the law and they didn't. So he addressed certain things that had been keeping the people in bondage, and he freed them from that, right? Because these religious leaders, they come in and bind the people. Isaiah's gonna speak of that. So anyway, where it said what had been spoken through the prophet Isaiah, I said, I need to go and read Isaiah then. You got to go and read Isaiah. I want to know where it come from. So we go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, and we get knee deep off into that thing because I want to know the context. I want to go back to the origin, right? We got to always know the context of something. So if Isaiah spoke about that, what else did Isaiah speak about in the chapter in which he spoke? That. So let's go there. And we begin in the book of Isaiah, chapter 9. It says, "But there will be no gloom for those who were in anguish. In the former time, he brought into contempt the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali." Remind you, this is Northern Kingdom. These people are not called Jews. There's a difference between a Jew and an Israelite, right? A Jew is an Israelite, but all Israelites are not Jews. As words, they refer to houses, the house of Israel and the house of Jacob. The house of Israel is Northern Kingdom. The house of Jacob is Southern Kingdom. Instead of the house of Jacob, they became known as the house of Judah. One became known as the house of Israel. Say the house of Israel, house of Judah. House of Judah, Southern Kingdom. The tribe of Judah, the tribe of Benjamin. Right? And then you have Northern Kingdom, which is everything else. Naphtali, Zebulun, Asher, Simeon, Levi. I didn't count them out, but that. Okay, the rest of them. But in the latter time, he will make esteemed the way of the sea, the land beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the nations. This is what we just read in Matthew chapter 4. We read the fulfillment of that. That this salvation was promised. That the gloom that was given to them, that gloom is no hope. That gloom is punishment, judgment. It's like a parent who has to punish you for things you've done, right? They had to whoop your butt, or they had to put you in the corner, or it had to be something grievous. That it hurt the parent to have to hurt you, but the parent hurt you so that you would learn and do better. And then the same parent comes and brings you comfort from your punishment to let you know that they aren't angry with you anymore. They want to give you hope. They want to put a smile upon your face. They want to wipe away your tears. Okay? This is what was done. I hope I can be heard on this thing. And then the same parent comes. Okay, I can be heard. I didn't know if I could be heard because I can't be seen. I just want to make sure I can be seen and I can be heard.
Hey man, it's about time for y'all to hit that like and that subscribe button.
About to get this thing
Been
figured
around
out.
here soaking up all the game like a dry sponge in a wet puddle. You've been robbing your brother of his likes and his subscription. You don't want to comment. You don't want to hit the share button. You're selfish. You don't want to participate. Then you need to evacuate. Get on up out of here quick, fast, and in a hurry, because we don't need your kind.
Nope.
Now, for those of you that's going to do what's right, go ahead and get it then. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, comment, and sit back and relax. Let's get into these scripts. You dig?
Why is this thing not doing this? I'm sorry, y'all. I had some things happen a while back. Well, today actually, that's made me have to change up how I stream. And I'm trying to figure out the streaming process, do everything I wanted to do, and it's not doing it. Needless to say, I don't like it. I know. So, verse 2, Isaiah chapter 9. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who lived in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined. You have multiplied the nation. You have increased its joy. They rejoice before you as with joy at the harvest, as people exult when dividing plunder. For the yoke of their burden and the bar across their shoulders, the rod of their oppressor, you have broken as on the day of Midian. For all the boots of the tramping warriors and all the garments rolled in blood shall be burned as fuel for fire. For a child has been born for us. For us. A son given to us. Authority rests upon his shoulders, and he is named Wonderful Counselor, Mighty Power, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. This is Northern Kingdom. This is what Northern Kingdom is going to call the salvation that's been brought forth for them. The Wonderful Counselor. He's a mighty power. He's an everlasting Father. He's a Prince of Peace. His authority shall grow continually. This is how you know that it's not talking about the creator of the heavens and the earth, because his authority don't grow. Okay, it is what it is. All right, his authority is complete. But who has to grow in authority? The Son have to grow in authority. And there shall be endless peace for the throne of David and his kingdom. See, this is also how you know it's not speaking to just his appearance, because we know he came and left, and this didn't happen, right? This endless peace for the throne of David and his kingdom is a part of the continuation, continually. What's happening is the seed that he planted when he came had to be allowed to grow, right? He came, spoke a message, gave it to his apostles to go and speak the same message and to set captives free. And in turn, that message has gone throughout the centuries to spread to others, preparing the people, preparing the bride for the marriage supper, right? When he returns. That's what it's all been about. Now, they may have had torment around them. They may have been like a Lot, caught in a Sodom and Gomorrah, vexed on every side. But their peace was content because of the one who created them. Now, it takes time to get certain perceptions and to see things a certain way. But the seed that he planted is what has been allowed to grow upon the people that from an outside eye, man, you got it bad. Man, you going through the most, is this, is that, is this, is that, is third, is this, that, and third. But they don't know about the peace that surpasses all understanding that came from the seed that was planted in you. Now you have an expectation. Now you have a certain way of seeing it. It's, yeah, this did happen to me, but it happened to me because of this or because of that. It happened to me so that this could benefit or that could benefit. This is what, you know, that is revealed by the Father to his children. Right? He don't care what the outside people know. Or in his kindness, he hopes that all should come in, right? But at the end of the day, them not coming in won't be because information was not provided, opportunity was not provided. It's going to be of their own will of not choosing them, right? It says, he will establish and uphold it. Establish and uphold what? David and his kingdom and this endless peace. He will establish and uphold it with justice and with righteousness from this time onward and forevermore. So from his inception, it was laid. Right? They didn't have their own kingdom. They didn't have their own land again and sovereignty and all that. No. But he placed guidelines for justice and for righteousness. What he taught his apostles and what they turned around and taught those who came after them. This was a part of the establishment and the upholding, because he held people responsible. They held people responsible for what? For justice and righteousness. When was this establishment and requirement for justice and righteousness? It was from the time onward, from his inception. And this is the problem, is that we look for what we want. And because it didn't happen how we think it ought to happen, we think nothing happened. I want a certain job, but I want it now. J.G. Wentworth and them. You know what I'm saying? I want it now. And because we didn't get it and get it now, we think we'd lost. But a father in his wisdom, any Aleph, any strong leader, has to prepare the ones in which he teaches for that which they are going to partake in or deal with. You want to be whatever field you're trying to be in, it takes certain characteristics. It takes certain basic knowledge and basic understandings. Do you have that? Before you ever get it, don't say I'm going to get it and learn it later. No, learn it first. Then you'll be able to handle it better once you get it. And that's with anything in life. It's best. Now, granted, there are people who hop into things head first and have to go through you still gonna go through a process. This is the thing about it. If you want to have it, rightly, then there's a process you're gonna have to go through. You either could go through it, you could study it and learn it beforehand, so that once you hop in, you have an easier transition, or you could hop straight into it, still have to learn it, but at the same time bear all of the hard difficulties you have to bear in order to learn what you could have learned in peace and shalom. Right? Because when you're studying, you can take a break from studying. You can't take a break when you're in the middle of it. When you're in the middle, you got to roll with the punches. You're going to take some punches, and you got to bob and weave and roll and take and consume and go with it because you didn't hop in here. But if you take your time beforehand, before getting into the midst, into the thick of a thing, you can take your time with it. And then when you studied all you could study, learned all you could learn, then you could hop into the fight. It's one thing to punch on a punching bag and it don't hit your back. It's another thing to get in there and punch on somebody and that somebody get to hit you back. That's what's hopping in the middle of something is. So when the son came, he dropped something on the people that they weren't looking for. They were looking to fight. They were looking to get into the whole of what's promised. They want the kingdom. They wanted the kingdom without being kingly. The apostles was confused by it, even though he probably told them verbatim. It was like, we thought he was the one. We thought he was the one that was going to give us the kingdom. They're like, no. He gave you a kingdom for real. He done made you pillars of a whole new way. You don't even realize it. Because it didn't happen the way you wanted it to happen. He literally have made you kings. You don't even realize it. It's like, where my throne? Where my robe? Where my people at? You go get your people. I ain't got no money. I ain't got this. What am I gonna rule them with? Teach them what I taught you. Ask yourself, do you see what the Most High is trying to do for you in his way instead of your way? Because your way, I'm just going to be honest with you and straightforward, your way ain't worth a damn. If your way was the way, then you'd be God, quote unquote. But you're not. He will establish and uphold it with justice and with righteousness from this time onward and forevermore. The zeal of the Master of Hosts will do this. Not only his zeal for doing it, right? Because he has to be straightforward in things and not get frustrated with what has transpired from the people, because the people got into wickedness, right? Paul went and established churches, taught people, everything was going good. Paul leaves and get letters of finding out the people then went off. Man, these people sleep with each other. Why? These people doing it, these people doing that. Now imagine Paul is the Most High. You done came, established something, made covenants and treaties. Now you like, you know what? It's over with. The whole church gone, everybody gone. I'm done with it. No, it take a zeal. It take patience to say, okay, let's eradicate this little part and let's keep everything else that's good. Let's keep it going. It's easy to throw the baby out with the bath water, right? Because this is one motion. Dump the bath water out. You want to take the baby out, you got to go pick the baby up, dry the baby off, put the baby to the side, go back to the tub, pick it up, dump it out. That's a lot more work than just dumping the whole thing out and being done with it. This is the discipline that the Most High has put in the earth of difficulty. Everything about the Most High is going to be difficult. Not that it can't be done or it's grievous, but that it's more than usual. It's above and beyond, right? What's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary? That little extra. And that's what the Most High is all about. He's all about that extra. And that extra, from an outsider's perspective, that extra is too much. Oh, it ain't that serious. How much you hear that from? Anybody who is of any kind of righteous way, any kind of way that has discipline pertaining to what you do, somebody that's not disciplined like you is going to tell you doing too much. We should always ask ourselves when we feel compelled to say something is too much. We need to analyze that. We need to check ourselves. What is it really too much, or am I not set to do enough? Am I not zealous enough? Right? It be certain people who be hardcore, like, security jobs or cops or whoever. You say, well, they doing too much. Are they doing too much, or are we accustomed to doing too little? Now, there's a difference between going above and beyond and being abusive of power, right? Of being grievous, grievous of, afflicting. There's a difference in that, and just being someone who is striving towards excellence, who is striving towards perfection. This is what the Most High has laced the road, the way to his salvation with. Be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. What? How you gonna be perfect? Doing it one time? Doing it twice? You have to do it all the time. It's the difference between a professional and talented or something. But anyway, it says one person did it till they get it right. Another person do it until they can't get it wrong. And that's really what perfection is, doing it until you can't get it wrong. It's impossible for you to get it wrong. And that path to get to that is what many say, it ain't that serious, you doing too much. And these, by and large, are going to be the people that's probably going to go to hell. Because if it's people that got that mindset who do it, should they be in the same position as people who don't do it? Should they? What's the question? If you on a job with somebody and your job is to, stack chairs or whatever, and you going and getting all the chairs, you working at a consistent basis, you grabbing 6-7 chairs at a time, you taking trips, you doing 40-50 trips, and you got a person that's content with grabbing one chair, and every so often where you doing 2 and 3 trips in so much time, they doing one. So you getting more chairs, doing more trips, and they doing less chairs and less chips, and they want the same check as you. They want the same appreciation as you. They want the same crown as you. What you think about that? You know, the master sent a word against Jacob, and it fell on Israel. And all the people knew it. Ephraim and the inhabitants of Samaria. This is Northern Kingdom. Northern Kingdom is referred to. You have to understand, Hebrew is it's just like us today. We got nicknames. Your name ain't George. Your name is Peanut. And when I refer to you, I ain't gonna call you George. I'm gonna call you Peanut. Some people will call you P Nizzle. That's my boy P Nizzle. It's still talking about Peanut, but they calling you something else. P Nizzle, Nut, Nutty Boy, Nut Rages. It's all talking about the same person, different words. And we like that innately because our people is like that. And if we write, you ain't gonna believe how we gonna write. We gonna write the same way. So Ephraim, Samaria, same group of people, same thing, different ways of talking about the same people, same places, same things. And it be significance to them. Just like I call you Peanut, I don't call you Peanut for no reason. I call you Peanut because you might got a peanut head. I might call you Peanut because you like eating peanuts all the time. But it's specific, and it's a reason for it. And upon further inspection, upon further inquisition, you could find out the details of why you called Peanut. This is what Ephraim and Samaria and Kingdom of Israel and firstborn and all this whole stuff. Whenever you hear these terms, that's the Peanut, the P Nizzle, Nutty Buddy, all of those stuff. It's different words talking about the same thing. But in pride and arrogance of heart, they said, this is a word went forth against Northern Kingdom, right? Because we're dealing with the fact that light came to people in darkness. Going back to Matthew chapter 4. Light came to them. This was a prophecy of Isaiah. Isaiah 9. When it says, there will be no gloom. There will be no gloom for those who were in anguish. Why are they in anguish? They are in anguish because the master sent a word. The master sent a word against Jacob, and it fell upon Israel. The Most High pronounced judgment was going to come, and it came, and it left darkness and gloom. And that darkness and gloom was outshined by light, the light of Yahushua HaMashiach. Salvation came to these people when damnation had been placed upon them. Okay? All the people knew it. Ephraim and the inhabitants of Samaria, but in pride and arrogance of heart, they said, the bricks have fallen, but we will build with dressed stones. This is how these people were told that they need to change. If they don't change, destruction was going to come upon them. These people in arrogance said that whatever happened to them, they was going to be able to bounce back from it. They was going to be able to do better than whatever they had before. They was going to try to get around the judgment of the Most High. And we need to be weary about doing this as well, about touching things and not heeding warnings and things like that, thinking you're going to be okay because you know what I'm saying? You him. You the goat and the goat and all that old stuff. Northern Kingdom thought they was the GOAT. Ephraim and Samaria. And said, with pride and arrogance of heart, they said, the bricks have fallen, but we will build with dressed stones, and sycamores have been cut down, but we will put ciders in their place. And look, we got sycamores now, but afterwards we're going to put up cedars. It said we're going to be stronger. We're going to be better. It says, what the Most High did? So the master raised adversaries against him and stirred up their enemies, the Arameans. And in the east, the Arameans on the east, and the Philistines on the west. And they devoured Israel with open mouth. For all his anger had not turned away, his hand is stretched out still. The people did not turn on him who struck them. I think Isaiah is referring to what had happened and what's still happening at that time. Said his hand stretched out still on them people. But he done received a vision or a message or something that in the latter days, it was going to be, well with them. But for that time, hey, listen, that thing's still bad. You know what I'm talking about? The people did not turn to him who struck them or seek the master of hosts. So the master cut off from Israel head and tail. This is, what happened to Southern Kingdom. Okay? He said Israel. In context, he's talking about the house of Israel. In context, the house of Israel is not talking about all 12 tribes. Okay? The house of Israel is Northern Kingdom. We talk about Northern Kingdom. Why? Why we talk about Northern Kingdom, Brother Brandon? We talk about Northern Kingdom because we talking about what was going to happen to Zebulun and Naphtali. What is Zebulun and Naphtali a part of? Let me tell you what Zebulun and Naphtali is a part of, brethren. Zebulun and Naphtali is a part of Ephraim. Ephraim, like I told you about Peanut and P Dizzle, Ephraim is referred to the head tribe, just like Judah is the head tribe of Northern Kingdom. Ephraim is the head tribe of Northern Kingdom. And the capital of Northern Kingdom is Samaria. Okay? Just like the capital of Southern Kingdom is Jerusalem. Okay? Or it's the city of David, Jerusalem. I don't know. I feel like the city of David was somewhere else. But anyway, that's what we got. So he said, so the master will cut from Israel head and tail. Now he went on to do the same. He went on to do the same thing to Southern Kingdom. He did the same thing, but before it happened to Southern, it happened to Northern. So he will cut from Israel head and tail. What is the head and tail, Brother Brandon? What are you talking about? Palm, branch, and reed. He's going to cut the head and tail, the palm, branch, and the reed in one day. 15. Elders and dignitaries are the head, and the prophets who teach lies are the tail. So you see the significance of metaphors. Okay? One thing means something else, but you got to understand it, know it. As I said earlier about leaders of the people leading them astray, the elders and dignitaries had been the people that sold the people. Just like now, right? We understand that the land of Israel controls America. But how do they control America? They control America through different policies and laws that they benefit from. How did these laws get passed? By elders and dignitaries in Congress and the House of Representatives and Capitol Hill and all this whole stuff. They polluted them to make them agree to things that hurt us. This is what happened with the elders and the dignitaries and the prophets. They made agreements. They committed certain wickedness that affected and hurt the people. So this is why the Most High said he cut them off, because that's how you began. And that's the only way this nation is going to be healed, is that the head and the tail gets cut off, right? The elders and the dignitaries, the politicians, the governors, the House of Representatives, the senators, all this stuff. These people got to go. Because you say, well, Israel the problem. Why we? Your politicians is the problem. Your wicked elders, your wicked dignitaries is the problem. It's the prophets. They can be likened to your pastors, right? These are the religious people leading you astray. These are the people that's supposed to tell you what the Most High say, tell you truth. But they said instead of teaching truth, what they do? They teach lies. This is what happens when a nation becomes disagreeable to the Most High. He said, I will give you women for leaders, and your children gonna oppress you. That's Isaiah chapter 3. What is that? 1 second. Isaiah chapter 3. He said, Isaiah 3:4 says, I will make boys their princess, and babes shall rule over them. This is what the Most High does to a nation that's not acting right. He make boys their princes. Huh? He make children to rule over them. People that's not equipped for the office. People that can be run amok and led astray by other powers. David couldn't be run amok and led astray by other powers. He was not a boy. He was not a child. The Most High said, okay, you want to be wicked? Well, I'm going to give you wicked leaders. I'm going to give you wicked rulers. I'm going to let them rule over you. And they going to put you in a place where you can't win. I'm talking about you can't win, child. You can't win when you ain't got winning material. Boys and children in leadership is not winning material. Did it say children? Or did it say women? Babes. Babes. Yeah, that's children. Ruling over you. He said, and prophets who teach lies are the tail. For those who led this people led them astray, and those who were led by them were left in confusion. You know why you don't know the Bible? Because the person you depend on to teach it to you, he ain't gonna believe what he is. He wanted them babes. He wanted them children. What is a child gonna teach to an adult? You know what that adult gonna be left in when they get done? Confusion. You ain't taught me nothing. You did a whole bunch of talking, ain't said nothing. Gibberish. And that's what the people are given, because that's what the people want. So you have to be very, very mindful of finding yourself in an unfruitful situation. Like, why am I dealing with these? How did I find myself here? Must have been foolish. You must have been foolish. So the Most High gave you over to foolery. You in a wicked assembly and congregation. How did you get here? Before you got there, you was a fool. Once I said, oh, you gonna be a fool? Okay, let me put you off in a foolish situation. So you're gonna waste 5, 10, 20 years over here with this foolery. Because you was a fool before I ever took you there. So that y'all ain't never put me in none of these places, but I have devoted time and energies with people and things or whatever, only to find out that it wasn't what I wanted it to be. You know. But told I y'all for progression, for, you know, revelation. All right. He didn't leave me confused. He didn't leave me basking away and drifting away. But also, he could have put me in these places and things so that I could know what ain't. I'm talking about, hey, listen, you got to know what ain't for you to know what is. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what ain't. Like, that ain't it. I don't know exactly what it is. That ain't it, though. Know that much. Thought I, yeah. That is why the master did not have pity on their young people. What young people? The young people that got led astray. The young people who got destroyed. The YNs out here getting shot up, getting killed, strung out on dope. Why he ain't got no pity for them? Because their parents was fools. The leaders was fools. Nobody sought the Most High. This is what you get, young people. Why the Most High ain't got pity for your pastor telling you lies and all this stuff? Because you was a fool. That's why he gave you to the pastor. If you had sought him, he'd have gave you revelation. Why these women out here being abused by these wicked men? Because they was fools. You want to be foolish? Okay. What it say a wicked woman is? A wicked woman is given to a who? Wicked woman given to a wicked man. You want to be a fool? Here goes some more foolery. But if you want to be wise, let me give you more wisdom. These women out here that's uncovered, they don't want to be. Although they say it with their mouth, in their heart, they don't want to be covered. They don't want to be covered. That's why they ain't. Most I ain't got no problem with placing you around somebody who gonna give you some real knowledge, some real wisdom, some real understanding. He got no problem with it. As a matter of fact, he desires it. He said, what? I shall not do a thing unless I reveal it to my sons, the prophets. He ain't got no problem. It's mandatory for an Aleph to give adequate protection, to give adequate insight and understanding to all of those in which he oversees. If he don't give it to you, that means he don't oversee you. You know what he said? That ain't none of my business. You somebody else's. That ain't none of my business. You know what you got to tell them? Listen, I don't want to be with them no more. I want to be with you. And say, I choose you. That's what you got to do. You got to jump ship. Now, when you jump ship, he'll save you. He'll do you like old boy say, hey, man, pretty Tony, your chick chose me. You got to really stick with him, really ride with him, and he'll keep you, he'll hold you. But you want to come hang with the Mac and then be still accepting pretty Tony phone calls out here? Ain't with all that, man. Ain't nobody finna stand up for you for that. You got to be all the way in, all the way out of what he told you. How would you be hot or cold? Ever trying to be lukewarm? He don't deal with that. He don't rock with that. He will accept you from another God. He'll accept you if you cleave into him. He take war brides. It's in our law. That's why we can do it. Because he do it. But you know what? He don't just win you in war and take you straight into his bed. No, a war bride got to go through a whole damn list of things before she could ever come into that man's bed. You got to be separated from a year. You got to clean yourself, wash yourself, make yourself clean. You got to soak in oils and all kind of stuff for a year before you get to come and get with that man. That's what the Most High said. I don't just believe you because you said that. No, if you're willing to go through this process I got for you, then When it's finished, I'm gonna rock with you. I told that y'all, man, it's in his word. It's all in there. No, it's all in there. The bad part about it, he pleading for you to come. He ain't saying, I'm here if you feel like. He said, no, come back to me. You don't get to start like, oh no, even playing field. No, you messed up. You gotta go through the war bride process. You don't just get to come, just get to leave his bed, hop straight in my bed. No, that ain't what we do. You gotta earn your keep. You know what I'm talking about? Hand it with your steel. Earn your keep. You want to be a regulator. That's the only way he get down. You gotta show and prove. If he said try me and see what I am, who I am, don't you think he gonna try you? Don't think he gonna put you to a test? That's why I don't understand what the Christian be talking about. Ain't nothing you can do to be saved. No. Listen, his salvation is there. So if that's what they talking about, I get that. It's there. He said, I would that I could gather you in like a mother hen. I'm talking about my arms wide. He said, I stretched out my arms wide all the day long to what? To a rebellious people. So you've been welcomed. But you know what you can do? You can wear out your welcome. You can turn from your welcomeness. But you know what you got to do to get into that welcome? You got to get in there. You got to get in there. Let the Christian tell it. You can be right there. Don't never embrace him. Don't never walk into his loving hand, and you'll be saved. You ain't got to go through the war bride process. Just go hop in his bed. No, we don't do that here. We ain't gonna tell you that here. Like Paul said, I would that you not be ignorant. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna tell you about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Thought I yeah. What he said? The master will not have pity. He ain't got no pity because you catching hell because you want to hang with Pretty Tony. You wanted Pretty Tony. And he over there won't let you come off the corner, beating on you, getting knee deep in that pimping, and you want me to feel bad for you. You choosing this God. You choosing this deity that abuses you. You ain't there because I put you there. You there because you want to be. And the crazy part, you got somebody begging you to come get with him, but you saying, nah, see, you got too many rules over there. True enough, Tony beat me and he do all this stuff to me, but you want me to, talk like a lady. You want me to dress modest. I like showing off my butt. I like my eyelashes and my weave. I like that. You don't let me do all that. I'd rather take these whoopings and you want me to feel bad for you. That's what he said. He got no pity for the young men. The hell? What's wrong with them? I mean, I have pity for your young men. I don't like to dress with the long dresses and I don't like wearing my natural hair, and I just want to be like this. Go on over and get your ass beat then. Go on over there catch cancer because you want to put this in your hair. Go on over here and catch AIDS because you want to be a whore. Go on over. Ain't got no pity for that young men. That's why. Oh, like my son said, that is why the master did not have pity on their young men, or compassion on their orphans and their widows. So you want to be a drug addict and your baby has some kind of illness and sickness and all this behind what you did. It's your fault. Why all these people died? Why this and that? Because that's what happens when you do A and you do B. You ain't gonna believe it. C come with that. C is next. Now I'm gonna do A and B, and I'm gonna skip the F. No, this is where I go. No compassion on their young men, pity on their young people, compassion on their orphans and their widows. Why? Because you asked for this. You want to be with Pretty Tony because he let you do what you want to do. I'm supposed to feel bad because you wanted what you wanted, and you know, I didn't know he was gonna beat me. You didn't know? It's rough over there, ain't it? I said, I ain't got no pit. I don't feel bad for you. For everyone was godless and an evildoer, and every mouth spoke folly. For all this, his anger has not turned away. His hand is stretched out still. This is why they're getting what they get. I said, what? Over here, we don't do the godlessness. Over here, we don't do the evildoer. We don't do the mouth speaking folly. We don't do that over here. That's what Pretty Tony and them do over there. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, Pretty Tony and the Mac and all that. There's a movie called The Mac. And in this movie, these are two pimps, if you will. One had a young lady, Pretty Tony had the young lady, that saw the Mac and who he was and how powerful he was and how smooth he was of a character, and she wanted to be with him. And she left Pretty Tony to be with the Mac. And Pretty Tony tried to take her back. And the Mac told him, he said, hey, your chick chose me. Okay? And I use that as a dynamic of, this, because it's a choosing. Choose you this day whom you shall serve. You have before you this day good and evil. Now, granted, the Mac as a whole, it was black exploitation, it was evil, it was this and the third, right? But everything created has some semblance of the Most High Yah in it. Just like the whole book got Yahushua in it, everything in life got Yah in it, whether it's perverted or not. It was perverted for evil's sake, but that don't mean the origin of it was righteousness. The Most High put this in the earth, that a person should leave off from something wicked and wrong and be turned on to something that's better. That's why I use that for those of you that know about such things. For those of you that don't know about such things, then, compare it to something else, man. You know what I'm saying? Compare it to, take it, put it on, I don't know, whatever you watch that one person left off from something that wasn't working for them and they hopped on to something else that was better. Okay? So for wickedness burn like a fire, consuming briars and thorns. It kindled the thickets of the forest. They swirled upward in a column of smoke. Through the wrath of the master of hosts, the land was burned, and the people became like fuel for the fire. No one spared another. This is the type of mindset the Most High gave over to the people. Right? This is how he did what he said about cutting off the head and the tail, because the people ain't listening to and this is kind of scary in a way, because that means it got to be a civil war, because that's what he did to Northern Kingdom. The tribes started fighting each other. He's going to go on to explain that each tribe consumed one another. They fought one another. This is the same thing happened in Northern Kingdom in Josephus. Josephus said that while the Romans came and surrounded Jerusalem and its walls, they was outside trying to get in. The Jews was inside fighting each other. Civil war. Same thing happened to Northern Kingdom. So the Most High deals in consistency. If you do it one place and do it another place and do it another place, you can believe that whatever led to a thing, to lead to another thing, to lead to another thing, this is how he moved. This ain't by chance. This is custom. As his custom was. Hey, listen. So that means just like a pestilence, just like a famine, just like a sword, and then captivity coming after it is his custom. Civil war is his custom. Because I didn't even know that this happened to Northern Kingdom like this. I just thought the Syrians came and took them over. No, he's telling us right now, Northern Kingdom was fighting amongst each other. Then the Assyrians came. So that means that this very same thing could happen to America. Because you have to understand that his judgment, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If it's good enough for him to judge his people like that, what you think he gonna do to other people? Not only that, his people involved in the other people. You know why? Because we didn't engrafted ourselves in to this Caucasian way, to this Caucasian system. So not only is the Civil War gonna happen, you better believe he's not gonna leave out the pestilence. That's the disease. He's not gonna leave out the famine. That's drought and hunger. And he sure ain't gonna leave out the war and the captivity. Okay, all that's gonna come with it. So a lot of that is expected. You know, this whole thing is you worried about FEMA camps. You need to be worried about your next door neighbor deciding, well, hey, listen, I didn't stop no food. I didn't save no food. But I know you got it. I'm going to go in there and kill everything moving. Because you got to understand, part of the Most High's judgment is that the famine would get so bad that people would eat their own children. So don't you think it's things we going to do before we get to eating our children? Okay, we're not going to go to eating our children first. Okay? We going to rob, steal, and kill before we get to eating our children. So I'm over here starving, but I see you over there. You think I'm finna just go eat my babies, or I'm gonna go check your house first? I'm gonna check your house. I'm gonna check next door house, the house over there. And if we can't find nothing, then okay, then we gotta have to get to the babies at that point. But that's of the judgment of the Most High. That's not me specifically. That's what I'm saying. It's how the Civil War is gonna happen first. The Civil War happens from a spirit that's gonna go out amongst the people, and that spirit is gonna be connected to certain mindsets. Oh, who they think they is. Oh, they think they better. Or, they don't want to give me no food. They don't want to help me. Who is them? This is what happened in Northern Kingdom. Listen. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts, the land was burned, and the people became like fuel for the fire. No one spared another. They gorged on the right, but still were angry. They devoured on the left, but were not satisfied. They devoured the flesh of their own kindred. What? Oh, sorry. They gorged on the right, but still were hungry. They devoured on the left, but were not satisfied. They devoured the flesh of their own kindred. Manasseh devoured Ephraim, Manasseh, and together they were against Judah. For all this, his anger was not turned away. His hand was stretched out. Listen, the Assyrians ain't even showed up yet. Civil war, famine. Assyrians ain't showed up yet. That's what he mean by the escalation, about a man escaping from a lion, finding a bear, escaping him, leaning on the wall, getting bit by a snake. It's just going to get worse and worse for you. Ain't no way you could run. Ain't no way you could hide. He going to pursue you and overtake you. So now let's get into chapter 10, Isaiah chapter 10. It's the last chapter. I know I'm long-winded and everything. Forgive your brother, right? But I hope you got something out of it. Isaiah chapter 10. You who make iniquitous decrees, who write oppressive statutes. This is what we're talking about the leaders of the people. Now, the people ain't saw fit to try to uproot these people. They ain't got mad enough. You know what they say in prison when somebody upset about something? They say, why I ain't bleed? Why my mouth ain't bleed? You ain't bad enough. You ain't mad enough to hit me in my mouth, so you need to be quiet. And that's the issue with, we ain't mad enough to uproot people. We ain't mad enough to pray for the uprooting, to move in unison, to unite, to put aside our differences, to remove the wicked leaders, right? To seek the Most High's face, that he might remove the wicked leaders, or embolden us to remove them as well, right? We don't do that. So, because we don't do that, they are allowed to remain. And what are they going to do in their rulership? Are they going to do righteousness? Or are they going to do wickedness? Are they going to do wickedness? What kind of wickedness? They're going to make iniquitous decrees. Oh, yeah, a man can marry a man. Oh, yeah, a woman can marry a woman. Oh, yeah, you can sleep with a 9-year-old. That's what they're going to do. You think they're going to make good laws? Huh? You can marry a tree. You can sleep with a dog. You think they're going to make good laws? No. Who write oppressive statutes? Oh, no. They're going to put a heavy tax on you. Oh, no. If, I'm going to make it grievous on you. I'm going to make it to where you get locked up for anything. Man, you breathe too hard, you going to jail. So they're going to make iniquitous decrees and write oppressive statutes. What else are they going to do? They're going to turn aside the needy from justice. And they're going to rob the poor of my people of their right. The widows may be your spoil, and that you may make the orphans your prey. This ain't just your politicians. This is your religious leaders as well. Yahusha told you about what the men do to the women. He said, these are the type to worm their ways into the beds of silly women. What are they going to do? Sister Mary, Sister Josephine. That was our mama name when I was grandmama name. Now it's Sister Shaniqua. You know what I'm saying? That's what they doing today. You know, Sister Aquisha. What they gonna do? Take widows for the spoil. Make orphans to pray. You know why they talk about widows and orphans? Because their husbands then been led off to fruitless wars. Their husband then died in Afghanistan, Iraq, Vietnam. They've been died in fruitless wars. Fruitless wars propagated by what? By wicked leaders. And before it ever became a war, before the leaders ever got involved, you know what the people was doing? The people was at home giving over to wickedness. At home, personally. It was personal before it took on a world stage. That's what the Most High is saying. It's escalation. It's elevation and escalation. Because you wicked personally, I'm going to bring judgment and destruction nationally and internationally. If you was on the right, personally, I'm going to protect you nationally. I'm going to protect you internationally. This is why a person like Lot could sit in Sodom and Gomorrah and never be touched. Because I'm going to protect them. Because he's doing right. He's living right. I'm going to make sure don't nothing happen to him. The laws of Sodom and Gomorrah won't affect them. The law in Sodom said when a new person come in town, you're supposed to tie him to a bed and rape him. That was the custom of Sodom and Gomorrah. When a new person come in town, we're going to rape them. You can read Jasher, I believe, to find that out. The book of Jasher talks about that was their custom. In the street, when in the house. When you come into town, they see you and your family with your wagon and your horses and all this. They're going to be like, hey! They're going to get over there to you. They're going to snatch you off. They're going to tie you to a bed. They're going to gang rape you. That was Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why the Most High brought judgment on it, because they was doing too much to people. But a person like Lot that had a mind towards the Most High Yah that was righteous, he protected in that. And this is the thing. That's what I'm trying to show you, the escalation and how Yah's judgment comes. So, do you think today most is like Lot, or is most like Sodom and Gomorrah? That's what Abraham prayed. He said, man, if you can find 50 righteous, will you save the city? See, I save the city for 50. You find 40, I save it. This place, save it. Then he only found one. You gonna save it for one? No, I'm not gonna save it for one. I'm gonna get the one up out of there. I'm gonna get the one up out of there. Because his protection is still gonna be. It's a different level of protection, the more righteousness it is. If it's more righteous, they ain't gonna take the city. I'm gonna leave the city. If it's only a few, it's only a remnant, I'm gonna get that remnant out of there. I'm gonna burn that city down. This is what he's saying. Because he didn't find the righteous. We know Northern Kingdom had righteous people. That's where we get the book of Tobit from. It was a righteous man. That's where we get the story of Jonah. Because of righteous Northern Kingdom Israelites. So we know he provides for those that trust in him. We also know what happened to those that don't. And a lot of you didn't get the context of this. You heard about the story of Lot. I mean, of Jonah. You don't know what the hell Jonah's about. How them people get over there? How do you know? You've been to church 40, 50 years. How them people get over there? What's the name of the city? Where you supposed to preach to? Nineveh. How them people get to Nineveh? Go ask your pastor. How these people get to Nineveh? And the fact that you don't know it, for your Christians out there, I know my Israelites know, but even a lot of Israelites don't even know. They just jump from Christianity over to, Israelite of not eating pork and celebrating holiday. You really don't know the book like that. People don't be teaching you nothing. You don't remember nothing. They want to give you 2 lines over here, 2 lines over there. You don't know the context of the book. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. Take your shoes off. Stay a while. This is the point of context. And if you don't know the story of Jonah, then you don't understand the compassion of the Most High Yah. Because he brought salvation. I sent you to captivity. Now I'm going to bring somebody to come tell you something. Jonah was disobedient. That's all you got from the story. Not the fact that the Most High was sending a Savior. He was sending a Messiah to come save the people from their transgression. He was to come preach freedom to the captives. You don't get that part. Because you don't know. Because you a line here and a line there. It's dangerous, man, what these people out here teaching and doing to folks. You don't see the man kindness and his compassion because you don't got no context of it's needed. And why is it kindness and compassion? Because you don't deserve it. I told you, if you do this, that, and the third, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to punish you. I'm going to send you into captivity. I'm going to send you to Nineveh. I ain't got to come send nobody come tell you nothing. You know what? Go to hell. How about that? But no, I'm going to make an effort to save you. I'm going to make an effort for you to turn from your transgression. I'm going to send somebody. Do you get that from the story? Or you just get, he told him to go and Jonah ain't want to go. What will you do on the day of punishment? In the calamity that will come from far away, to whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your wealth? So as not to crouch among the prisoners or fall among the slain. For all this, his anger is not turned away. His hand is stretched out still. Our Assyria, the rod of my anger. See, this is what you got to understand, man. You don't be knowing stuff. But Esau, the white man, enslaved us. You know, he called King Nebuchadnezzar the king of the Babylons. You know what he called that man? Wicked man. Wicked man. The man built a statue. That's breaking one of the 10 commandments. He built an idol and he caused the people to bow down and to worship it. That's not good. But you know what he called them? He said, my servant. my servant, King Nebuchadnezzar. You know why he would call the man his servant? Because he's serving him. You know how he was serving him? He was his rod of anger against his people. But if you don't know scripture, you don't get it. Why? Why did he need King Nebuchadnezzar? Because if you know any context about scripture, you know the Assyrians came to try to take over Southern Kingdom. Northern Kingdom didn't go into captivity to the Assyrians. They went in, Northern Kingdom didn't go into captivity to the Babylonians. They went into captivity to the Assyrians. Now, the Babylonians conquered the Assyrians, so they could have took power from them there, but the war was lost against the Assyrians, okay? The Most High saved Southern Kingdom from the Assyrians when the Assyrians tried to come against Northern Kingdom. It's going to speak about it. The context of why he saved them, it's even deeper because I've did stories about Hezekiah, who was the king, when the Assyrians came against Northern Kingdom. Northern and Southern Kingdom. I did a story about that. We know he was worried and he prayed, sent to the prophet, and the prophet told him everything was going to be good. You know what's crazy about that? Was he was worried. We about to read a prophecy. The Most High said, I'm going to punish Assyria. I'm going to stop them in their tracks because they halted, because they doing whatever they want to do. They think they God. So if Hezekiah would have read that, he would have known that the Assyrians wouldn't finna succeed in what they was doing. This is why you got to have an understanding. This is why you really got to seek the scriptures. Josiah went and searched the scriptures and found promises and found things and found order. Hezekiah was wise enough to seek the face of the Most High. But he praying for something that was already promised that was going to happen. Let's read. Assyria, the rod of my anger, the club in their hands is my fury. Against a godless nation I will send him, the king of Assyria. And against the people of my wrath I command him to take spoil and seize plunder, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. This is the Most High talking to this bride that he was once so in love with. And he could get ugly fast. This bride that he was once so in love with, cared for so much. It's only so long that he gonna take disrespect. It's only so long. As much as I loved you to care for you, when he described his feelings towards his people, He described it like you was just a little baby, and I found you. I picked you up and I cleaned you, and I loved everything about you. And I was just so in love with you. It went from that to take the spoil, seize the plunder, tread them down like mire in the street. Listen, this is very, very bad language. Take the spoil. You know what take the spoil is? Taking the spoil is like you kill an army, all they men dead, and you go in there and go in their pockets and take stuff out their pockets. You go in their houses and take stuff out their house. Oh, you got a flat screen. Oh, you got gold silverware. Let me get. This is not good language. When the Most High said, take the spoil, that means you dead. That means you in prison. You not. That's the spoil he talking about. Seize the plunder. Listen, that's taking your stuff. You ain't gonna believe it. Stuff he gave. He said, I gave you fine linens. I gave you sandals. I gave you jewelry and all this stuff. You know what he said? You know what he told the Assyrians? Hey, man, go get that stuff. Go get that jewelry. Go get them sandals. Go get the, everything I gave them. Go get it. Say. But this is not what he intends. Nor does he have this in his mind, but it is in his heart to destroy and to cut off nations, not a few. This is the thing too, right? Most High is all-knowing. So he know A lead to B, B lead to C and all this. Now, it's still your choice to go off and do these things. And he know you're going to go do them. But he also, in an infinite thing, it's like chess, right? You got percentages. It is highly possible if I do this, you're going to do this. And if you do that, then I can do this. Then when I do that, you're going to have to do this. With us, it's a guess. With the Most High, it's a no. He knows it. I don't think you're going to do this. No, I know you're going to do this. And this is what he said, I'm going to use this to save remnants of this bride that I love so much. Because this is the thing. She really ain't worth a damn. This is the thing. She really ain't. Not as a part of what I want. But there's a part of her. There's a way about her that I love. How can I get the most out of that? Abraham. Oh, I love that part. David. Oh, I love that part of her. Isaiah, Jeremiah. Oh, I love that part. Ooh. Everything else, it ain't worth a damn. So how can I get more of that? Oh, I'm gonna have to uplift her, and I'm gonna have to break her down. I have to uplift them, I have to break it down. I have to uplift them and break it down. Uplift to break it down. So you know what he's saying? When I make you a kingdom and all this, that's the uplifting. And when I do this, certain people gonna come up, they're gonna be wicked as hell, and I'm gonna have to break you down. And then it's gonna be some good stuff, and I'm gonna have to build it up. And then somebody's gonna come around, and I have to break you down. So not only is he looking for the birthright, Abraham's descendants physically, but he's also looking for Abraham's descendants spiritually. So you're not one of his children as far as, he your great granddaddy, nothing like that. You're going to be his descendant by, you got his heart. You got his zeal and his love for the Most High. And you might be in another nation. So he said, you know what I'm going to do? When these people come take my people, they going to meet some of the good people I got. And them people gonna teach them about me. And they gonna see, and they gonna walk, and they gonna learn, they gonna come in. So now I'm gonna build a bride. That's why I'm gonna build a bride. And I'm gonna build over centuries and hundreds of years. It ain't gonna come all from one place. Because if I look for it for one place, listen, it's gonna be twos and fews. But I'm gonna use the seed I planted in Israel. I'm gonna spread that seed. Because you gotta plant in Alabama that grow. And when that plant grows, it's gonna produce seeds. And some bird gonna come eat that seed. And that bird gonna fly. It's gonna fly somewhere else. It's gonna fly from Alabama. It's gonna fly to New York. And it's gonna poop that seed out. And that seed gonna land. It's gonna take root. And it's gonna grow. And it's gonna spread. It's just gonna continue. But you know what? That plant don't ever get there if don't nobody take it off. Don't nobody take it off. That bird got to come eat that thing. This is what the Assyrians was. This is what the Babylonians was. It was that bird. It was that bird that came and ate. Like I tell my sons, come get a bite. I'm talking about they came and got a bite. We think, oh man, it's a bite, it's bad. The Most High happy with the bite, like, yeah, this is how I'm gonna get, this is how I build a bride. I can't spread my seed. Don't nobody come get a bite. He told the Assyrians. That's what he said in I think it's Isaiah 13 or whatever. He said, man, come. He said he gonna set an inside. Come on. Come get a bite. Come get these folks. Because you gonna get the wicked ones. That's why Paul said, the lawgiver is for the wicked. That's who gonna be punished. Police don't be bothering me. I be hearing about people talking about the police sometimes. Be like, man, I don't be having them problems with that. Oh man, don't go over there, man. Them police is crazy over there. I don't have no problem with the police over there. They not bothering me. And I got my name on my tags come back probably worse than theirs. You go to looking me up in the system, and I got prior. I've been to prison, all kind of stuff. Them people don't bother me. This is what the Most High has set up. That the plunder, the spoil, is going to be bad for the wicked. It's going to be good for the righteous because the righteous get to shine. The 3 Hebrew boys get to shine. You know why? Because everybody else on plantation. 3 Hebrew boys in the council. You know why the 3 Hebrew boys in the council? Because they are worthy of it. Huh? Daniel get to shine. You know why Daniel get to shine? Because he's worthy. Joseph got to shine. You know why he got to shine? Because he's worthy. But you know why they got to shine? I mean, why they got the opportunity to shine? From oppression, from destruction. Huh? Joseph had to be taken and thrown into a well by his brothers in order to get that shine. The 3 Hebrew boys had to go into captivity in order to shine in captivity. This is what the Most High done set. That through much tribulation shall one be saved. I can't show no mighty hand if you ain't got nothing going on. I can't save you if you ain't in trouble. Can't save you if you ain't in trouble. I don't know how many ways to say it. What am I gonna do? How good do I look if you thirsty? It's a water bottle right next to you. I just hand you the water bottle. You like, thank you. It's cool. I mean, I could have grabbed it myself, but thank you. But what if you thirsty and it ain't no water, no well, you can't get to it. I don't give a damn what you do. You ain't finna be able to get you nothing to drink. And I got to go through hell to get it for you. And I go get it for you, bring it back. Here you go. You go, hey, listen, your affection for me It's gonna be too much. And that's what the Most High is desiring. He wants that affection. And he can't get that affection if you ain't thirsty as hell. You ain't thirsty as hell, you ain't got no way to get yourself nothing to drink. He put you there so you can appreciate him when he comes. Oh, listen, you the man. He wants you to be a war bride. You can't be a war bride without a war. Can't be a war bride without a war. He can't take you from Pretty Tony if you ain't with him. Okay? But this is not what he intends, nor does he have this in mind. But it is in his heart to destroy and to cut off nations, not a few. This is how you're going to cut off the nations. This is also how he's going to save different people out of the nations. You got to go to these nations. You got to meet with these people. And these people going to see the favor that's been placed on your life in your captivity, by your hardships, by all the bull crap you got to go through. They're going to see your countenance change. Like Joseph in Egypt, they say they had a countenance on him. So they knew something special about that boy. That's what you got to go. You got to go there so they can see. They'll say, you know what? Tell us about your God. Tell us about, what is that? They're going to grab a skirt of a Yehudi. Say, hey, listen, man, take us to your God. Take us. We want to know about this. And that's what the Most High got planned. Now, the Assyrians say, are not my commanders all kings? This is the haughtiness and the pride that's going to come into the mind of the Assyrians. Because the Most High have this plan, right? The people pollute and dilute. And the people he used to punish the people for what they've done, they start to believe that they are doing all these things because they bad. No, nigga, you not bad. Nigga, you a part of my play. You think you tough. I invite you to my play to play a part in what I got going on, and you think you better than me. It's finna tell you all about it. It said, for he says, not my commanders are not my commanders all kings. It's not Kalno like Carchemish. It's not Hamath like Arpad. It's not Samaria like Damascus. It's my hand, as my hand has reached to the kingdoms of the idols whose images were greater than those of Jerusalem and Samaria. He said, I've been taking over all kind of places over here. I done did all this stuff. Now, the Most High is pronouncing judgment upon Samaria. He ain't said nothing about Jerusalem. He ain't told that man to do nothing about no Jerusalem. Why are you talking about Jerusalem? Hey, I told you to take Samaria. I told you to take Northern Kingdom. I ain't tell you to do nothing about the South now. And this is what happens. Greed happens in the mind of the wicked. Wickedness abounds, get worse and worse. That's what happened. It says, as my hand has reached the kingdoms of the idols whose images were greater than those of Jerusalem and Samaria, shall I not do to Jerusalem and her idols what I have done to Samaria and her images? See, Samaria was given to idolatry. That was part of why the Most High put a judgment on them, right? So he going out and saying, what I did to Samaria, what he was allowed to do to Samaria, he said, I could do that to Jerusalem. That's when he came up against King Hezekiah. It's like, nah, dude, you tripping. You get much too big for your britches. You know what I'm talking about? When the master has finished all his work on Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, he will punish the arrogant boasting of the king of Assyria and his haughty pride. This is what happened. Now, Assyria was allowed to make certain strides into Jerusalem. They did make certain strides, you know. They put certain presses on. They even put a tax on Jerusalem. That's why the king said, listen, what you got for me? Hezekiah took the gold doors off the temple and gave it to that man. He said, hey, man, listen, we ain't got, money in pocket because you already taxing us heavy. He said, well, what else you got for me? Hey, man, I ain't got nothing but these doors. Now, the doors on the temple apparently was quite a bit of money, right? Imagine for a giant to have to walk into a house. That house has to be tall, and that house has to have a huge door. The temple apparently had 2 doors like this, that it took 20 to 30 men to open and to close this door. That door was made of solid gold. And Hezekiah took that door and gave it to the king of Assyria as a payment of tax. So the Assyrians was like, hey, man, listen, man, I know we got the heavy tax and all this. How about we waive the tax? You can keep your little golden door. How about you keep that? And y'all just submit to us, right? And how about, you just, in order as a token of good faith of your submission, how about you just drink your own piss and eat your own doo-doo? You know what I'm saying? That's all I want. That's all we want. You keep your door, just drink your piss and eat your doo-doo. This is a true story, by the way. This is not Brandon making up being funny. He literally came and told these people, hey, listen, you ain't got to keep paying us. How about you just give up, give in? You just drink your own piss, eat your own dung, and we'll be cool. Now, this is coming from somebody who literally been taking over the whole world. Everywhere he go, he been taking over stuff. He been taking over stuff. This is why he got cocky. He wasn't cocky for no reason. Oh, well, you better believe he was not cocky for no reason. But he didn't understand that he was a puppet in this, being played by the strings of the creator of the heavens and the earth. And he started to believe his own hype. He began to do things outside of what the one who created them wanted to do. 13, for he says, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I have understanding. I have removed the boundaries of peoples, and I have plundered their treasures like a bull. I have brought down those who sat on thrones. My hand has found, like a nest, the wealth of the peoples. And as one gathers eggs that have been forsaken, so I have gathered all the earth. And there was none that moved a wing or opened its mouth or chirped. You say, well, but Brother Brandon, what all this got to do? What all this got to do with today? Right? Because in the thing I said, what does it mean for us today? And it's like this, right? What is the Most High prospered you in that you somehow forget that he's the one that prospered you in it? Huh? Because you don't want to be like Assyria. It didn't go good for the Assyrians. It went very, very bad. Okay? That's the price. That's the cost of them forgetting the one that made them. Are we forgetting the one who made us? So it's plenty of facets to this lesson. It's that. And it's also being the people that qualifies for such a judgment to be placed upon them. Because the warnings went forth. Warnings went forth to the northern kingdom. We started out about the salvation. The salvation is the end. But before it got to the end, there was a word, like you said, a word went forth. Hey, listen, if y'all don't get yourself together, judgment gonna come. And they didn't listen. The Most High gave them wicked rulers, wicked leaders that played politics and got the people in a sensitive position that they could be taken over by a foreign power. The foreign power came in. That foreign power did exactly what it was designed to do, to rule and to conquer. But the foreign power got a little bit too haughty. And this could happen too. It's like being promoted to a position. The Most High got intentions on you doing a certain thing, and he put you in a particular place. And instead of guarding that place and handling your business correctly, asking, seeking the one who put you there, what you ought to do when you're there. Okay? Not taking it upon yourself to do what you want to do. Most High, what you want me to do? How you want me to do it? And I do it. Tell me, and I do it. The Assyrians didn't say that. The Assyrians said, I'm going to do whatever I want to do because I did this. I'm him. You know, I'm him. And it didn't go well for them. So we need to be mindful of where has the Most High put us. Some of you have been made pastors. Some of you have been made fathers. You've been made husbands. You've been made leaders over this and leaders over that. Are you considerate of the one who put you there? Huh? You've been made mothers. You've been made heads over this group, heads over that group, overseers over this, overseers over that. Are you running it? Are you considerate of the will of the one who put you there? Very important. Because you don't want to be like the Assyrians. Let's talk about it. Shall the axe vaunt itself over the one who wields it? That's what you would be when you're being inconsiderate, right? Or the saw magnify itself against the one who handles it? As if a rod should raise the one who lifts it up, or as if a staff should lift the one who is not wood. Therefore, the sovereign, the master of hosts, will send wasting sickness. Wasting sickness. That's like something that eats you alive. You heard these flesh-eating sicknesses? You heard of AIDS? You heard of things that drains and sucks life out of a person. He said, we'll send wasting sickness among the stout warriors. Hey, listen, that's why he gonna give it to the stout. Giving a wasting sickness to a skinny person really ain't gonna have that much effect. Oh, you skinny getting skinny, okay. No, he said to the stout warrior, listen, these niggas buff. Buff Bagwell in them. He talking about mighty men that look like if they even touch you, you'll break because they so powerful. He said, I'm gonna send them a wasting sickness. He desires his hand to be shown as mighty, and the only way for it to be shown as mighty is drastic actions. The most drastic you could ever imagine. That's another part about this lesson. You gotta be mindful. You don't want to be on this man's bad side. Does it sound like somebody to play with? That his mindset is that he'll take the biggest and the strongest person and shrivel them up like a prune. Like this is mine. Make somebody eat their babies. You proud, you boastful. How proud and boastful you gonna be when you got to drop to the level that you will eat your children? This sounds like somebody to play with. He will send wasting sickness among his stout warriors. And under his esteem, a burning will be kindled, like the burning of fire. The light of Israel will become a fire, and his Kadashwan a flame, and it will burn and devour his thorns and briars in one day. The esteem of his forest and his fruitful land, the master will destroy, both soul and body, and it will be as when an invalid wastes away. No, it's invalid. An invalid. Invalid. Invalid is said the same way. It's like a word that has the same spelling, but it's got different pronunciations and meanings. Invalid means, you know. Yeah. as far as I know. But he's speaking. He's not saying.
No, I know.
Okay. The remnant of the trees of his forest will be so few that a child can write them down. On that day, the remnant of Israel and the survivors of the house of Jacob will no more lean on the one who struck them, but will lean on the Master, the Kadash one of Yasharal, in truth. A remnant will return, a remnant of Jacob, the remnant of Jacob, the mighty power. For though your people Israel were like the sand of the sea, only a remnant of them will return. Destruction is decreed, overflowing with righteousness. This is a part of the whole thing, is that path of a war bride, of cleansing herself and purging herself from her old life that she knew and was accustomed to, and being engrafted into this new life. Everybody ain't gonna want to do that. Because a war bride, you have to understand that she'll have to please her master. She'll have to be fully indoctrinated in his way. She can't be able to talk about, see, in my house, my old husband, he used to be like, in my old house, we didn't have to do that. We was, you know what that man would be like? You know what? Go and take your ass out there to the damn plantation then. I was gonna bring you in here in the castle. Go and get your little stuff out there, because this is the thing. You've been conquered. So I could do with you whatever I want to do with you. I could bring you inside. You want to be a house nigga? You want to be a field nigga? Hey, listen, field nigga got it rough. Field nigga got it rough. You can be a field nigga. It's okay. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? I would that you come on in here, but you don't just get to come on in here without no kind of affliction, without no kind of testing. And that's what he's talking about, the remnant. Only a remnant of people is going to be willing to do what needs to be done, and their will. Okay, because you can want to do a whole bunch of stuff, but will you be able to, though? See, that's the whole part about the remnant. A lot of people want to be saved. A lot of people come into the knowledge and understanding and go about walking a certain way, but that is a surface level. That's why I'm very against surface level type stuff. Okay? You got to go deeper. And that deeper part is where you separate yourself from everybody else. That's where the Kadashness happens. The Kadashness ain't from some general, oh, we the people. No, nigga. The people is the ones that's going to do that little extra. The extraordinary. He brought the whole nation out. Only a remnant got into the land. A lot of women gonna get captured in war. All of them ain't gonna be brides. Some of them going to the whorehouse. Some of them going to the field. Some of them going to the outhouse. Some of them gonna get sold to other nations. Only a remnant of them gonna find their place in somebody's home. War brides, hey, listen. You know what's crazy about the war bride thing? You ain't got to be nothing. This is extra. It's extra. Them men taking war brides probably already got a wife. So it don't matter to me what you gonna do. It don't matter what you gonna do. If you please me well enough, then I'm gonna desire to set you on a high status. If you want to quote unquote show your ass, hey, you can be ass out. And that's what the Most High at with it. Because in his wisdom and infinite knowing, he worth the work. Somebody gonna come up in here. Somebody gonna do whatever it is to take, and they gonna come up in here. Ain't worried. If you don't want to do what you need to do, your loss. That's the mindset. Your loss. You sir, you ma'am, go to hell. Christianity ain't gonna tell you that. Christianity want to tell you, oh, it's all sweet. It's all, he loves everybody. He want everybody to come in. Yeah, he want everybody to come in. He want everybody to come in. And he pleading for you to come in. But guess what? If you don't come in, he said, I got a time frame. And I'm going to shut that door. And when I shut that door, everybody out there, it's over with. It's over with. No, they said he went out and sent somebody to the highways and the byways to tell them, come to the gathering, come. He said when he shut that door, and them people tried to come to the gathering after the time he said come, he said, nah, it's over with. It's over with. I don't give a damn what you said, what you do. You're not getting in this gate. The whole time it was open, you had all air and opportunity to get on up in there. But when that gate closed, say, I shall have no pity on their young men. Ain't got no pity on their orphans and the widow. I don't want to hear about your sad stories and your sad tales. You can go to hell. And that's what they don't want to tell you. Because you think you can play. You think you can be willy-nilly. You think you got time to, you think it's in living color. You can do what you want to do. No. It don't work like that. The war bride don't get to do what she want to do. She got to conform. She got to commit to purging herself so she can be pleasing to the one who has won her, who has paid the cost for her, who set himself to go to war and to win and to survive. Remnant will return. Remnant of Jacob, the mighty power. For though your people Israel were like the sand of the sea, only a remnant of them will return. Destruction is decreed, overflowing with righteousness. For the master power of hosts will make a full end as decreed in all the earth. Therefore, thus says the mighty master of hosts, O my people who live in Zion, do not be afraid of the Assyrians when they beat you with a rod and lift up their staff against you as the Egyptians did. He's not talking about Northern Kingdom. He's talking about Southern, I believe, anyway. For in a very little while, my indignation will come to an end, and my anger will be directed to their destruction. Oh, I'm going to use them to punish. But pretty soon, when they act up, like I know they're going to do, you know, I'm going to punish them. The master of hosts will wield a whip against them, as when he struck Midian at the rock of Oreb. His staff will be over the sea, and he will lift it as he did in Egypt. On that day, his burden will be removed from your shoulders, and his yoke will be destroyed from your neck. He has gone up from Ramon. He has come to Ai. He has passed through Migron and Michmash. He stores his baggage. Babbage is an old term. They have crossed over the sea at Geba. They lodge for the night. Ramah trembles. Gibeah of Saul has fled. All of these, well, a nice chunk of these that I had checked into earlier have something to do with cities and towns in Northern Kingdom. Right? Which all this leads to, it started out about, quote unquote, Jesus going to certain towns and preaching repentance to these towns. So coincide that with Paul and Paul's writings and his whole thing about ministering to the Gentiles, because these people for the longest time were seen as Gentiles, were spoken of as Gentiles. It's deep, man. You know, it is what it is, right? Cry aloud, O daughter, Galimi, or Galim. Listen, Laisha, or Laisha. It's probably Laisha. That's crazy. That do sound like a sister name. Answer her, O Anathoth. Madmenna is in flight. The inhabitants of Gebim flee for safety. This very day he will halt at Nob. He will shake his fist at the mountain of daughter Zion, the hill of Jerusalem. Look, the sovereign master of hosts will lop the bows with terrifying power. The tallest trees will be cut down. The lofty will be brought low. He will hack down the thickets of the forest with an axe, and Lebanon with its majestic trees will fall. See, the Most High wants to punish you, but He's going to punish you within measure. It be the people that want to get in there and want to do too much. He don't like that. He don't like it when somebody abuse his thing. He said, I was mad with them. I was but a little mad with them. you didn't took it too far. Okay. I wanted you to do certain things to them, but you didn't got excited. You just going above and beyond this thing. And I don't like it. So all praise to the Most High, y'all, right? The creator of the heavens and the earth, the seas and everything in them. That's all we got for today, man. I pray that you've been enlightened in some kind of way. You've been edified. You got something that you can take with you. You got something that you can spread, like that righteous seed that was dropped in soil and it grew and was taken hold of by something else and transplanted somewhere else and started to just grow and grow and spread and grow and grow and spread. All praise to the Most High, yeah. Before we get out of here, I want to remind you.
Hey, man. It's about time for y'all to hit that like and that subscribe button. You've been around here soaking up all the game like a dry sponge in a wet puddle. You've been robbing your brother of his likes and his subscription. You don't want to comment. You don't want to hit the share button. You're selfish. You don't want to participate. Then you need to evacuate. Get on up out of here quick, fast, and in a hurry, because we don't need your kind. Now, for those of you that's going to do what's right, go ahead and get it then. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, comment, and sit back and relax. Let's get into these scripts. You dig?
All right. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, all that old tube stuff, man. And I'm about to get on out of here, man. So all praise to the Most High, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the seas and everything in them. Thanks to his being, his son, his chosen representative, Yahushua HaMashiach, who the world knows as Jesus Christ. We say shalom, shalom to the brethren. What up to everybody else? And remember, it's 12 tribes.